The fate of a boy and girl gets intertwined after a boy dies saving a red dolphin. A breathtaking tale of love, friendship, and sacrifice, of gigantic whales floating in the sky, a world beneath our oceans, and a story that will stay with you forever. Hello guys, and welcome to our channel. Today we'll be traveling to a mystical world that is set underneath the ocean. Big Fish and Begonia is a tale of two teenagers whose fates are entwined after a boy saves the life of a red dolphin, which ends up killing him. The dolphin, who is actually a girl from the mystical world, sets on a journey to repay him. A journey that will affect the lives of many and change the entire world. This movie was the brainchild of two Chinese animators and filmmakers. Originally, they made a short film which received an overwhelmingly positive response. The production of this movie was funded and took many years to make because of that reason. So we hope you're excited about this recap. Let's get into it. The movie opens with a human figure sinking into the sea. Through a voiceover, a woman asks about the purpose of life and how time rushes past with no one realizing. Suddenly, 100 years have gone by, and she says that she's now 117 years old. She also says that no one believes her when she says that, once dead, souls turn into enormous fishes and return to the ocean. As she does, we see many whales float past the sinking body, deep under in the ocean. When the earth was young, it was all but a vast ocean inhabited by primordial fish, the first incarnations of the human souls. The narrator tells us that her name is Chun, and she belongs to a group of beings called the Others, who are not gods but also not human. After drifting for a prolonged period in the human world, the souls drift down to the sky of her world. The Others are responsible for them, as well as for the natural laws of the human world. This means the tides, seasons, and time. The narrator stops speaking as we meet a 16-year-old Chun and her childhood friend Qiu. She and other children of her age are about to attend a traditional coming-of-age ceremony, a day which is called the Rite of Passage. An old woman in a traditional dragon mask opens up a whirlpool. This is called the portal of the sky and sea, which is a passage to the human world. All the children who are taking part drink a ceremonial soup, and after saying goodbye to their families, they're transformed into red dolphins, ready to venture into the unknown human world. This is done in order to observe the human world and how the laws of nature are governed by the Others. After doing so, the children are instructed to return to the whirlpool on the 7th day. If not, they'll never be able to come back home. On her last day, Chun is on her way to the portal when she gets caught up in a net. A human boy and her little sister spot the red dolphin struggling, and the boy rushes to help. He tries to cut her loose, but the dolphin is panicking. He eventually succeeds, but in a tragic turn of events, he drowns after he sets her free. Devastated at his death, but helpless to do anything, Chun returns to her world after taking his flute from him. Upon her return, she cannot forget the boy's sacrifice and feels guilty for it. One day she wanders off alone on a cliff. Chun takes out the flute, which is shaped like a fish, and plays it. A statue nearby comes to life, and he asks her about it. She tells him what happened, and he says he will help her. That night, Chun sneaks out of the house to go back, and brings the token given to her by the statue. A boat appears which takes her across the sky to the Soul Keeper's house. Unbeknownst to her, her friend Qiu had followed her and seen where she had gone. Chun meets the Soul Keeper, the keeper of virtuous souls, who lives alone with cats for company. He warns her that bringing back the dead is forbidden. You can never right your wrongs, he tells her. But Chun is adamant, and he tells her he'll take her eyes in return, or half her lifespan. She agrees. Chun is able to find the human boy after spending an entire night searching for his soul in the Chamber of Heaven, the place where human souls are kept as tiny fish. The Soul Keeper tells her the only way to bring him back to life is to infuse his soul with hers, and that she must protect him until he's large enough to travel back to the human world. Otherwise, his soul would be lost forever. In the next scene, we see that Chun names the fish Kun, after the biggest fish there is, according to legend, and they start to bond as Kun starts growing. There are a series of misadventures involving Kun being thrown away by Chun's mother, his rescue from the Rat Lady, keeper of all the damned souls, and an incident where Qiu gets poisoned. Along with this, there are bad omens all around, and the elders have started to suspect Chun. One day, during snowfall in spring, the Rat Lady convinces Qiu to let Kun free in the frozen river for Chun's safety. Horrified, Chun dives in after Kun. She's brought unconscious to the Rat Lady, who takes the flute from her for her own purposes. Chun and Kun escape together, helped by Q. A few days later, Kun has grown bigger, and Q has realized the danger Chun is in. He visits the Soul Keeper to trade half of his lifespan for Chun's. The Soul Keeper tells him the price for that would be his entire life. But even then, once Kun returns to the human world, Chun will die anyway. He also tells him the secret to save Chun from death. The natural disasters have now gotten worse. As the sky has opened up to the oceans above, the entire mystical world is flooding. The people gather to kill Kun, but Q opens a portal of sea and sky, through which Kun is able to travel through, but the rat lady passes as she has a token from the human world, Kun's flute. Chun's people shun her attempts to help them, and realizing how much damage she has caused, Chun sacrifices herself with the help of her grandfather, who had previously turned into a begonia tree after saving Q from poisoning. The disaster is averted, and Kun brings the Soul Keeper a branch of the begonia tree. With this, the Soul Keeper revives Chun as a part of a deal he made with Q. Along with Q, Chun travels to help Kun return to his world. On their way, Q asks if she would want to go to the human world, but he's unable to express his feelings for her. The next morning, he opens another portal for Kun, and following the Soul Keeper's instructions, casts a spell to get Chun to the human world. This will end his life. Chun resists, but he tells her he'll always be with her, as wind and rain, and that they'll meet again. In the last scene, we see Kun and Chun finally reunited in the human world, and we see Q's pendant around Chun's neck. Now the credits start rolling, but midway there's a mid-credits scene. Here we see the Soul Keeper bringing Q back to life, so that he can replace the Soul Keeper, and so we realize the true cost of his sacrifice. So that is all the time we had today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel, and do hit the bell icon to remain updated about all our future videos. Till then, see ya!